Hey everybody, this is Aylad and we are back on the Starmada server. Haha, yeah. I've got kind of a progress update for y'all today more than anything. It's been a little while since I've recorded, but I've been playing like crazy. I've gotten a lot done, as you might see here in the background. So I'd kind of like to show off the progress I've made on my base and some of the stuff I've been working on. And, we'll kind of see where it goes from there. Alright, so for starters, I have a new ship, a greatly expanded base, and there's a couple other surprises lurking around somewhere, though it may be a little while before we see them. So let me get back into gravity. There we go. And I guess I'll kind of start with my ship here, because first of all, this is not finished. I didn't realize when I finalized my shipyard plans that there were logic pipes visible, and there are a whole lot of turrets that need working on as well. So, this still needs work. But here's kind of the entrance hatch. Um, as you can see, the entrance airlock is actually off center. Like the cockpit is centered, and that's that up there. But this is down and a little bit to starboard side, um, and that's done deliberately. As you come in the entrance corridor here, there's a couple of gravity modules here and there. This is actually gonna be not opening onto empty vacuum. I'm gonna have kind of a captain's quarters in here, but the captain's quarters is actually gonna be a separate self-contained ship. It's gonna be like a little module or a little pod that can detach. There's going to be a sliding door that detaches, or not that detaches, but that kind of like opens up, slides back down the length of the ship, and then the captain's pod will be able to fly out and fly off on its own little mission. And when it docks, it will activate this activation rail or activation module, and that will, well, let's see. There we go. That will automatically open the door both in here and on the captain's module. And then when it undocks, it'll all close up again automatically. But yeah, I haven't even started constructing that yet, so got a little ways to go. Come up here to the bridge, got a nice little two-level bridge. I'm very bad at building bridges, as it turns out, but I'm working on it. A little captain's chair, I kind of like this look for it. Back here, I've got the systems access, or I've got my overdrive for faster speed, radar jammer. Yeah, the two dual jump drives. I love having dual jump drives. This is just decoration, decoration. Yeah, I think so. The scanner computer. Boop. Yeah. Don't know if that did anything actually. I may need to be in command. Faction module up here. I got missile computer. Let's see, did I ever fill this in? No, I did not. Got to fill this in with black crystal armor. I got a missile computer slaved to a beam cannon computer, and there's actually no beam cannon modules because this pretty well drains all my energy reserves just firing at once, even without the added power drain of the damage beam modules. But yeah, this is, it's basically a guided missile. Um, got an overdrive here that currently this is slave to, or vice versa. But yeah, then I've got a separate damage beam. This is dual damage beams that are not slave to anything at the moment. You can see the beam modules under there. But I placed this deliberately so that I can easily reslave it like that and switch back and forth depending on which weapon I want to overpower. So that's cool. Got my little transporter module over here so that I can kind of go wherever I need to go. And actually, I gotta set this to faction access. And I need to change the name of it. panda shuttle. Oh, yeah. All right. Back here, let's see. I actually need to rename this the red panda shuttle. Whoa. Type O's shuttle. Sorry. Yeah. And let me actually just kind of take us up in space, and I will show you what she's got, which admittedly is not all that much. Let's see. Wait a second. I think I have a separate toolbar. Yeah, I do. All right. And up we go. Get clear of the gravity well. See a couple other little things flash past there. Acceleration's pretty alright. Deceleration's pretty alright. This is after the thruster update, so this is how I allocated my thrust. I've got a lot in up and down to kind of make it easier to do what I just did. I love vertical takeoff and landing. Most of it's in forward and back. I don't really have that much in strafe or turn or whatever, but that's cool. Get back into this. So watch my watch my energy meter over on the right when I fire this. Boom! Yeah, it drains pretty quickly, and this recharges really slowly. Damage beams, zzz, yep, they're not slave to cannons or anything, or anything. Radar jammer zone, or I mean it's not on now, but it can be turned on easily enough. Dual jump drives. They don't charge really fast. They do alright, and you can see they don't really touch my power meter, so that's cool. Overdrive effect is 40.1% efficient. Not too shabby, not too great. So yeah, that's what she's got. Really, really not bad acceleration. I'm pretty pleased with it. Gets up, the server speed limit is 100 meters per second. So, I can get up to, about 141. And it turns out it's faster to brake by actually reversing thrust than it is to just hold shift, which is interesting. Yeah. So, let me get this behemoth. Oh, wait, no, before I dock this behemoth. Stop turning. Stop turning. Okay, before I dock it, let me show it off a bit. Alright, so what we have here, these are the weapon emitters. The weapon modules are back behind these crystals here. Got my starboard green and my port red lighting, which I just figured out. The little arrow that shows you which direction your ship is facing actually shows those colors. I'll get back to these tanks here in a minute. Let's see, there's turret mount here. This is going to be for actual, like, lock onto my enemy and blast the crap out of them turrets. They're not going to be very powerful. This is not meant to be an attack ship, as you could probably tell from my power usage. This is going to be a simple point defense turret, as are these and this. And then the other, actual attack turret over here. Let's see, I think those are all the turret mounts. You can see down here the bay for the captain's pod to go into. The captain's pod cockpit is going to face aft when it's docked, which is going to give me a nice little window out the back of my bedroom, basically. Right back into into this. There's a beacon in there that doesn't appear to be doing the beacon glowy effect right now. When it is, though, you've got this nice star-shaped effect, kind of like when you put a star filter on a light source. So that's it looks pretty cool. I don't know why it's not showing right now. Got probably an attack turret mount back here. It's going to be a single direction or a single axis, so it's not going to have full freedom of movement. I might change that, but I don't know. I'll think it through. I've got several cameras. I've got some pretty awesome engines, heat sinks, more heat sinks. Love this detail. I think this detail might be my favorite aesthetic decision I made on the whole ship, actually. Followed closely by the shimmer. This is just done by using 3/4 slabs. A couple of spaces behind it, not directly behind it, are my jump drive modules lit up by teal lights. It turns out if you put the jump drive modules directly behind these slabs, it treats it as though it's not getting any light at all. So it's necessary to do it this way. But that's cool. Um, let's see. This is not. Well, yeah, this basically is a USD more or less, but it doesn't have the ability to dock itself. So I don't have to worry about which one of these I'm loading up in my toolbar. Um, Now, the reason for this ship's existence is actually the freight platform back here. And what we have in here is freight. And all this cargo space is linked to a single storage block right here. Whoa, right here, which is going to be set as my personal cargo once I have everything loaded in. This is my personal construction ship. I'm going to fly this to wherever I need to do some construction work, space stations, planets, whatever, and going to have this huge inventory to build from right there in these big orange tanks. So I'm really excited about that. Got a little bit of detail work in here. Didn't go crazy with the greebling. I've got a little bit here and there, but not much. Let's see. There are display modules next to each camera that are supposed to name which camera I'm in at the moment. Those do not come out of the shipyard properly. The text data is lost when you construct it. These are going to be landing gear. They're not really landing gear. They're going to be called landing beacons. There's one on each wing. There's one on each side of the nose. And those are going to just kind of lower down. They're going to have beacons and lights on them. It's going to look like I'm just placing literally landing beacons. Like, how you see a big truck on the side of the road or side of the highway. It's got the orange cones just kind of marking out where it is for safety. It's going to be kind of like that. But the purpose of it really is it's going to be attached to a rail that's embedded in this leg right here. And that's going to hold the ship up if I'm forced to land on a flat surface with no docking available. So yeah, and this is open because this is actually how no, I can't load my cargo. This is actually how I got into the ship when it was mounted in the shipyard during the construction process. It's going to be a rotating radar thing up here. It's going to constantly spin. In fact, I could edit if I had access to my personal cargo, but I don't, and that sucks. But whatever. Yeah. As far as the overall design of the ship, I'm pretty happy with it. I especially like the engines and or the engine pylons and the heat sinks right here. I kind of like these heat sinks. These I think make pretty effective greebles. I think this is just black. Yeah, it's just black paint canisters. Um, I'm pretty happy with my use of the yellow hazard armor. This is actually black crystal armor on top of the shield modules and stuff. I think that makes kind of a cool effect. I'm still working my way through the aesthetics in this game. Like, I like to think that I have a good eye for detail, but it's a new system, it's a new game, and I'm still kind of getting a feel for it. But I really do like the shimmer along here. Wee. All right. So anyhow, enough of that. Let me show off a bit more of my base. Let's see, get back into flight mode. Get back to my docking toolbar. What is this? Oh, this is going to be what raises and lowers the landing beacons. So it doesn't really have a purpose yet. The logic's all wired up. I don't have the rails mounted. And as we approach my planet, you might notice a little something something. Let me get in the nose view. What do we have there? That's right. Red panda habitat has a moon. Yeah. Not really fully developed. Um, it's not going to look like that when I'm done with it. But it is really cool to be working at my shipyard and see the moon rising and setting. Before I'm finished, there's going to be a lot more surface detail, um, and it will move more slowly than it moves currently. So I won't see it as often, but it'll move a little bit more realistically, I think. Okay, so as I pass by here, you see a satellite up in orbit. This is an orbital defense satellite. And this is it's a defense turret, basically. It attacks any pirates that come near, any enemy craft that come near. Um, the whole shebang swivels like, well, basically it can turn, left or right, and then the center module can elevate or lower. So it's got full direction of, or full freedom of movement in every single direction. The panels don't load in properly because of the atmospheric effects. So drop a little lower, you'll see that the panels are in fact complete. And that's some kind of mineral. It's like cinnabar or something, I can't remember. And it is controlled through a Bobby AI module. And I'm really, really happy with how that came out. Get docked and I'll show the stuff that's actually going on with my actual base. There we go. Ha! Not too bad. Could have been worse. Uh-huh. Um. Gravity. Thought I had one around here. Alright. I dock and the door here opens automatically, which is cool, as do the ceiling light, or the ceiling lights activate automatically, which is also cool. So up on here, I've got officially the biggest turret I've built to date. And it's actually a compound turret, I suppose you'd call it. Let me get in a build block so I can kind of fly around more freely. Doop. Come on. Oh, it's over here. Whoosh. Okay. So what we've got here is a tractor beam emitter. Basically, this has, I forget how many damage beam modules, slave to an equal number of cannon modules, so that it's got constant fire effect. And then it's all slave to a pull effect computer with the full 100% ratio of pull effect modules. So instead of dealing any damage at all, what this primary emitter does right out the center here is fire reasonably powerful tractor pull. Yeah, and then on the side is mounted a turret, and there's going to be a matching one mirrored over here. And what this is not all that powerful, but it's 5 damage pulse modules, slave to 5 damage pulse modules, slave to 5 overdrive modules, and that is for reasonable amount of damage at extremely short range, if I understand how all these systems work correctly. And the idea is this turret, whenever pirates attack, is going to drag pirates down here as close to it as possible. The little side turrets are going to rip them apart, and it'll make the pirate ships easy to capture, reboot and take over for my own purposes. And it'll also make the pirate drops hopefully easy to collect. At least that's the idea. I've not tested it yet. Hopefully it'll work the way that I want it to. And again, just as with this, everything is controlled by a Bobby AI module. I haven't really done any work on my harvester since I last showed it off. However, during a pirate attack, I completely lost my original panda scooter. So I built a rather larger panda bike. It's not as fast, still has dual jump drives, stop, overdrive. Um, it's got a camera on front. It does alright. I'm not really sure that it's any better than the smaller version, but whatever, it'll do for now. Um, Over here, these big silo looking things, these are missile towers. In fact, let me just go ahead and activate them, show you what's going on with them. Let's see, how's it slaved up currently? Alright, so right now this is slaved to damage beam. Alright, so right now it's guided missiles. So I activate it, and an automatic clock starts, and the missiles fire whenever they're fully recharged, which can take a while. Or I can come in here, preferably in build mode. It's really too compact in here. I can come in here and I can slave them to this, which is another missile computer. And when it's slaved to the missile computer, what we get is ha ha a light show, which is very, very cool. And I would be terrified right now if not for the fact that everything is supposed to be protected as faction home. Why are damage markers appearing? Am I blowing everything up? Where's my switch? Need my switch. Okay. Did I just blow up everything? I did. What the crap? Is this not faction home? What did I do? Oh no! I had no idea. Where was it? Oh, that sucks. I just blew up a bunch of stuff. Hang on. I gotta figure out where my faction home was. That is not even slightly true. I never removed that faction block. Oh my gosh. Okay, well. Oh, whatever happens, happens, right? Hopefully there was no damage to the actual station since this is on the, it won't actually hurt itself or docked stuff, and everything's either docked or technically part of the same entity. I think the only potential for damage that it can do is attacking the other planet plates. I never intended for these planet plates to be attacked though, so that pretty much sucks. Whatever. Anyway, so I've done some terraforming on this plate as well as I think one other. No, it's all on the same plate. Never mind. Got myself a nice little lake down here. Yeah. Took a fair amount of water, not a whole lot. We got a snowstorm. Yeah. So that's cool. Um, yeah. So this is starting to look more like an actual habitat. As I kind of do more with this planet, I am going to terraform more of this other stuff, including patching all these holes I just blew in my own planet. That had to have been some kind of a loading error where it thought that faction block was gone and revoked ownership. Um, hmm. Let's see, it already had galaxy ownership, and that's the only faction block, or not galaxy, but system ownership. And that's the only faction block in the system. I don't really know what happened there. That's really weird. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll patch up the holes as I terraform more of the planet, whatever. Um, Up here, I've got a new shipyard. I had a shipyard that was actually attached to a different planet plate that was kind of off in that direction. But alas, it was too much of a hassle. So I went ahead and attached this one to the same planet plate so I can easily, like, I can jump in this build block and, mess around with my factories over here, or jump in a build block over here and activate the shipyard over here, whatever. So that's cool. Um, I've got some new systems in place in my manufacturing wing. First of all, I added a crap load of these. I actually have some more now that I can add. Let's see, where are they? At least I thought I did. Oh, no, I know where they are though. This currently is my personal cargo block. These factories on this floor are designed to be operating all the time. Like, see this? It's churning out dark gray hull like there's no tomorrow. And it'll stop because there's no storage pool attached to this right now. It'll stop only when the inventory space is completely full. Um, this is white paint is not the finished product. It's producing white paint so that this can produce pink hull up until it fills up and shuts off. And I'm not actually going to shut it off. I'm not messing around with any logic blocks with these. I'm just gonna let it fill up, and I think that'll be okay. It starts here with black hull. As you can see, my black hull still isn't full up. Yeah, so it's obviously going to be a while. But each little segment is all kind of tied into each other. Like the other side, let's see, this is producing gray hull, and the other side of this is a block producing black paint, and then this brings them all together into black hull, and so on through the full range. And it only gets screwy around, let's see, yeah, teal hull, because I've got to add an extra one in to produce more two colors of paint to mix together. Brown hull actually requires three colors of paint. This is not sure what. Oh, this is going back into that one. That's right, because I needed more space. This is just producing dark gray hull, nothing fancy. Pink hull. It's got red and white and gray hull. So that's cool. Don't have a whole lot of room to expand. I'm sure more colors are going to get added, and that's cool. But I'll figure out what to do about it then. We got a few more things going on here. These work the same way. They're just constantly producing, but with finite capacity, power capacity. This is already filled up. Look at that. So that's cool. Power reactor. So I've always got at least 1,000 of these ready to go. Thrusters. Cargo space. I'm going to end up with 2,000 of these. Going to end up with a couple thousand of these. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull 100 or so out right now for my own personal use. Come on. Why are you not? There we go. Interface in this game needs a little work. Let me just get these added right quick. Won't take a second. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Boom. And boom. Right now, this big wall is tied to this. Yep. And this big wall is tied to nothing at the moment. They're more for auxiliary purposes when I'm really trying to finish up a shipyard job. These are all slaved as needed to my quota controlled factories. I've got a video on how to set an automatic quota where like this factory produces 1,000 items and then shuts off. Unless I tie it into these, this would be 3,000 items before it shuts off. So that's cool. And then these are just for my my normal factories. Just basic setup, no fancy logics. If I want to retrieve the stuff quickly and easily that's in these factories, like logic modules, um, let's see, I think I've got basic rail in here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. I can actually hit this button right here. It allows a single storage pull where this chest? Nope. It switches this chest on for a single storage pull from all these constantly running factories. So it pulls out whatever they've got in inventory right then, and then it switches off again once it's completed that storage pull. And then my personal cargo block is linked to that. So then it'll clean it out and it'll all go in my personal cargo. And so what that allows me to do is with a single button press, I get the contents of all these factories added to personal cargo where they need to be, but then they go back to producing until they fill up again. So I'm not actually producing infinite amounts or until my materials run out, which would really suck. I'm only producing enough to fill up a single factory block at a time. I've got my microassembler set up here. Yeah. And the microassembler I wanted to set up so that it would do its thing automatically. So it's pulling stuff from this storage block. This storage block is pulling only the what do you call it? The decayed mesh and alloy. Is that right? No, mesh and crystal composite stuff from this, so that it's not actually turning my useful capsules into stuff. So that's kind of controlling that, so I don't go overboard with that. But yeah, just some basic changes to production to kind of budget things and keep things working smoothly. I've always got materials on hand now, and I did that after I built this ship because getting all the proper hull pieces was so ridiculously tedious that I realized I've got to have a ready supply of hull in all colors. And I don't have anything automatically converting it to standard armor right now because the armor hardener or the hull hardener is something that I'm a little bit limited in. I think at some point I'm probably going to set up one of these constantly running factories to produce the hardener though. So I do always have a supply of it. But yeah. Oh, moonrise. Yeah. I mean, it looks very bland right now, but it's going to be so awesome. Also, there's a rogue block right above my crosshair there. You can barely see it. Need to get rid of that, and I need to spice it up. And by the way, it's also going to be a uh, full access turret. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Full access turret, just like this is. So it's going to be able to rotate freely in every direction. And it's going to be able to fire something, probably guided missiles. Haven't decided for sure yet. Don't know if I ever showed this core off. This is where all my capacitors for the planet plate are. What else might be new? I think I've shown these off before. These are cargo pods. This is where the actual cargo spaces are for my personal cargo block. Um, Shipyard's small. It will be expanded. Got some cargo spaces over here for it. Got a transporter to easily link back and forth. Got a transporter down on the surface. Still hadn't done a whole lot of work. I think the glass dome is new. I don't think I've actually shown it off before. I built this actually out of dark gray hull and then used the remove replace filter to replace it with glass. Otherwise it never would have been worth my time. Glass is so hard to work with. It's too hard to see. But that's cool. I got some undetonators in here. Yeah. So that's pretty much where I am. I hope this is interesting for you. I hope it gave you some ideas. Ignore this right now. This is how I'm up to over 2 million in power regeneration. Um, this is very temporary. As the shipyard gets bigger, it's actually going to take over producing the power away from that. Um, Already it's producing a lot that's kind of going to waste because of the power cap. But I'm not ready to totally switch over and get rid of that yet. I tried to make this an interesting shape so that I could kind of build something cool around it, and then I realized that's not going to happen. It's always going to look out of place and kind of stupid. Plus, if I build it much bigger than it is, it'll get in the way of the moon. Um, so it's going to go away just as soon as I'm able to replace it all. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was inspiring to you. Thanks for watching. I'll be here hopefully next week with some pretty cool stuff. I've got a big project plan. I've got a nifty little experiment plan that I'll only show off if it works. Probably won't. Um, it's a lot to look forward to as I explore this awesome, amazing game, and I hope you'd like to share that experience with me. So keep coming back. Thanks for watching. Take care.